Stegosaurus Stenops is one of the most iconic plant-eating dinosaurs ever discovered. A creature so visually striking that even people with no interest in paleontology can recognize it instantly. With its massive body, two towering rows of bony plates rising along its back, and a tail armed with deadly spikes, Stegosaurus has become a symbol of the ancient world. Yet behind this familiar silhouette lies a far more complex and fascinating animal than most people realize. This is not just any Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus Stenops is the most thoroughly studied species within the Stegosaurus genus, thanks to exceptionally well-preserved fossils. Scientists have been able to reconstruct its anatomy, posture, behavior, and even aspects of its daily life with remarkable accuracy. Through Stegosaurus Stenops, we gain a rare and detailed window into the Jurassic world. To truly understand this animal, we must travel back in time to the Late Jurassic period, roughly 155 to 150 million years ago. Earth looked very different then. Vast floodplains stretched across what is now North America. Seasonal rivers carved through fern-covered lowlands. Conifer forests stood tall under a warmer climate, and the air was thick with life. In this environment, Stegosaurus Stenops roamed what is now the western United States. This land was part of the Morrison Formation, one of the most fossil-rich regions on Earth. It was a place where massive herbivores and powerful predators lived side by side, locked in a constant struggle for survival. Stegosaurus Stenops was an enormous animal. From nose to tail, it measured around 9 meters in length. Its weight ranged between 4 and 5 metric tons, making it one of the heavier herbivores of its time. It walked on 4 sturdy legs, with the front limbs noticeably shorter than the hind limbs. This gave its body a distinctive sloping posture, with the hips higher than the shoulders. Its head, however, was surprisingly small. Compared to its massive body, the skull of Stegosaurus appears almost delicate. The snout was narrow and blunt, equipped with a beak suited for cropping vegetation. Behind this beak were small, leaf-shaped teeth designed not for chewing, but for simple processing of plant material. Stegosaurus Stenops was strictly herbivorous. It fed on low-growing plants such as ferns, mosses, cycads, and early seed-bearing plants. Because it could not chew its food thoroughly, it relied on swallowing large quantities of vegetation and digesting it slowly. This required a large gut. Much of its massive body was dedicated to processing plant matter. One of the most distinctive features of Stegosaurus Stenops is its series of large bony plates. 17 of these plates ran along its back in 2 staggered rows. They were diamond-shaped and varied in size, with the largest plates positioned above the hips. Unlike armor plates in some other animals, these structures were not fused directly to the spine. Instead, they were embedded in the skin, supported by blood vessels and connective tissue. For decades, scientists debated the function of these plates. Early theories suggested they served as armor, but their thin structure made them unsuitable for heavy defense. Over time, other hypotheses emerged. One leading idea is thermoregulation. The plates were filled with blood vessels, which could have allowed Stegosaurus to absorb heat from the sun or release excess heat into the air, helping regulate its body temperature. Another theory proposes that the plates were used for display. Their size and shape would have made Stegosaurus appear much larger and more intimidating when viewed from the side. Differences in plate shape and arrangement may have helped individuals recognize members of their own species, or even distinguish between males and females. There is also the possibility that the plates served multiple purposes at once. In the natural world, features often evolve to fulfill more than one function. Stegosaurus plates may have helped with temperature control, while also playing a role in communication and visual display. If the plates were for show, the tail was unquestionably for combat. At the end of Stegosaurus, Stenops' tail was a fearsome weapon known as the thagomizer. This structure consisted of 4 long, sharp spikes made of solid bone. Each spike could measure up to 1 meter in length, and they were positioned in pairs on either side of the tail. The tail itself was muscular and flexible, capable of swinging with considerable force. Contrary to early depictions of Stegosaurus as a slow and clumsy animal, modern research suggests it could swing its tail rapidly and with precision. The spikes were positioned at just the right height to strike the legs, abdomen, or rib cage of a large predator. This was not a bluff. Fossil evidence provides direct proof of Stegosaurus's defensive power. Paleontologists have discovered Allosaurus bones, bearing puncture wounds that match the size and shape of Stegosaurus tail spikes. In some cases, these injuries show signs of healing, meaning the predator survived the encounter and carried the scars for life. Allosaurus was one of the top predators of the Late Jurassic, a powerful carnivore with sharp teeth and strong jaws. Yet even such a hunter had to approach Stegosaurus with caution. One well-aimed tail swing could break bones, puncture organs, or prove fatal, despite its formidable defenses. Stegosaurus Stenops is often remembered for one controversial feature, its brain. The brain of Stegosaurus weighed only about 70 grams, roughly the size of a walnut. For many years, this led to the reputation of Stegosaurus as one of the dumbest dinosaurs. However, intelligence must be understood in context. Stegosaurus did not need complex problem-solving abilities to survive. Its life was guided largely by instinct. Eating, moving, avoiding danger, and responding to threats did not require a large brain. Modern animals with similar lifestyles also rely more on instinct than intelligence, and they survive just fine. There was once a myth that Stegosaurus had a second brain located near its hips. This idea has been completely debunked. What early scientists thought was a secondary brain is actually a structure related to nerve signaling and body coordination, not intelligence. In reality, Stegosaurus Stenops was perfectly adapted to its way of life. Its nervous system was sufficient to control its massive body, coordinate movement, and execute powerful tail strikes when threatened. In daily life, Stegosaurus likely spent much of its time feeding. It moved slowly across the landscape, lowering its head to browse on vegetation within reach. Its neck was not particularly flexible, so it focused on plants growing close to the ground. As it moved, its plates would have cast dramatic shadows across its back, creating a striking silhouette against the Jurassic sky. Stegosaurus may have lived alone or in small groups. Fossil evidence suggests that while they were not highly social animals, they may have tolerated the presence of others of their kind, especially in areas with abundant food. Juveniles may have stayed near adults for protection, though much about their social behavior remains unknown. Reproduction in Stegosaurus is still a mystery. Like all dinosaurs, it laid eggs, but no confirmed Stegosaurus nests have been found. It is likely that hatchlings were small and vulnerable, facing extreme danger from predators. Many probably did not survive to adulthood, making those that reached full size the exception rather than the rule. As Stegosaurus grew, its plates and tail spikes developed gradually. Young individuals would not have been as well protected, which suggests that rapid growth may have been essential for survival. Reaching a size where predators thought twice before attacking would have been a major advantage. The world of Stegosaurus Stenops was filled with danger. Alongside Allosaurus, other predators roamed the same ecosystems. Survival depended on awareness, positioning, and the ability to defend oneself effectively. Stegosaurus could not outrun predators, but it did not need to. Its strategy was simple and effective. Stand your ground, face the threat sideways to display your full size. Keep the tail ready to strike. Over millions of years, this strategy worked. Stegosaurus Stenops thrived long enough to leave behind an impressive fossil record, one that continues to shape our understanding of dinosaur biology today. What makes Stegosaurus Stenops especially important is the quality of its fossils. Some specimens are among the most complete dinosaur skeletons ever found. These fossils allow scientists to study bone structure, joint movement, and even muscle attachment sites. From this, researchers can infer how Stegosaurus walked, how it held its tail, how it may have behaved in life. Modern reconstructions show Stegosaurus with its tail held off the ground, not dragging behind it as once thought. This position allowed the tail to function as an effective weapon. Its posture, once depicted as awkward, is now understood to be stable and balanced. Stegosaurus Stenops reminds us that evolution does not favor intelligence alone. It favors efficiency, adaptation, and survival. This dinosaur did not need speed or sharp teeth. Instead, it relied on size, armor-like display structures, and a powerful defensive weapon to hold its place in a dangerous world. When we imagine the Jurassic period, Stegosaurus often stands at the center of that vision, a massive herbivore moving slowly through prehistoric plains. Plates glowing in the sunlight, tail spikes ready to defend against any threat. It is a creature both strange and magnificent, shaped by millions of years of evolution. Through Stegosaurus Stenops, we see that even animals with small brains can be incredibly successful. Its story is not one of weakness, but of specialization. Not a lumbering fool, but a survivor perfectly tuned to its environment. And though Stegosaurus vanished from Earth long ago, its legacy remains carved in stone. Every fossil plate, every tail spike, and every footprint tells the story of a dinosaur that mastered defense, endured predators, and left an unforgettable mark on the history of life on our planet. Stegosaurus Stenops was not just a dinosaur. It was a symbol of balance in a brutal world. And even today, more than 150 million years later, it continues to capture our imagination, standing as one of the most recognizable and fascinating creatures to ever walk the earth.